Okay, so this is going to be a brief initial reaction review of several different movies and one show. I'm going to be all over the place with genres here. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is Alien Romulus. I don't know if any of you have seen Alien Romulus, but I will say this. I'm gonna start with the ending of my review, and then I'm gonna explain myself. For me, in my own personal experience, not counting the Alien versus Predator movies or the Predator movies, just the Alien movies only, Alien Romulus is my favorite Aliens movie since Aliens. All right, so the first movie was a straight up horror film. No one could tell me any different. Yes, it's a sci-fi film. It takes place in the realm of science fiction, but it is first and foremost a horror film. It is scary, it is creepy, it is disgusting, it is atmospheric. It just happens to take place in the future, in space. It's a great film. Then the sequel, I think the sequel takes place like 40 years later or something, because she was like asleep for like 40 years or something like that, or maybe 80 years, I don't remember. But the second movie is a action film, straight up sci-fi horror action film. Aliens. Now we got a whole crew of space marines. It's silly to say that shit out loud, but it's true. Space marines fighting aliens. Cool. Let's do it. Love it. Every film that came after that tried to do its thing, and in my opinion, didn't work. Alien 3 went through a lot of production hell with the studios and the director, and the movie that came out was more like a poem of an alien film, you know, a psychological, philosophical version of an alien film. And it's okay, it's not bad, but I don't like it. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good. I think it's cool, but not entertaining enough for the masses, you know. I could be wrong, that's just my opinion. Then the fourth one, Alien Resurrection. That movie just tried to be Aliens, tried to be an action-packed, you know, horror film, and it was just a stupid version of an action movie. It's not a good film at all. But it tries, you know. And the next one, what was the next one? Next one was a million years later, that was within the Alien universe, but not an Alien movie, Prometheus, which is basically the birth of these other aliens. What do they call them? The engineers? I forget. Anyway, that movie, I didn't hate it. I did not hate it. But it definitely, again, not an entertaining film for the masses. Doesn't really, it tries to expand on the universe and do something interesting. Wasn't interesting enough to keep most people's attention. And then Alien Covenant was, in my opinion, a useless sequel, because it was just trying to capitalize on making a new Alien movie, apologizing for Prometheus, and they played it safe. It's a straight sci-fi action movie, not really horrific, you know. It's just, it does its thing. It's got great special effects. So in that sense, Alien Covenant looks great, especially on 4K. It looks amazing. But you could do without that movie. Now, the thing about Alien Romulus, first of all, I loved the movie. I absolutely loved it. I had a great time watching this movie. However, it also feels useless. It is not a useful entry into the franchise. It does not expand on the universe in a engaging way. What it does do is entertain. It's dramatic when it needs to be. It's scary when it needs to be. It's not as scary as you would want it to be, but it's a pretty fun movie to watch. Like, it's definitely an enjoyable alien movie. When I saw Alien Romulus, you know what it felt like to me? It felt like I was watching a really, really expensive, well-made fan film. That's exactly what it felt like. That's exactly what it was. It it served no purpose except to give us another Alien movie. And let's have a little fun with it. Yeah, they do some things different towards the end of the film. But it wasn't interesting enough to be like, yes, this is what we needed. This is what we needed from all the other Alien films. This is what was missing. No. But it was definitely a lot more fun than any other Alien movie I'd seen since James Cameron's Aliens. So, Alien Romulus. Pretty fun. Definitely worth the watch. If you enjoyed the series and you collect them, you definitely want to get this one on 4K. If you don't, it's definitely a good rental. Cool Saturday night movie for friends. I don't know about friends and family. If your family consists of all adults and older teenagers, then yeah, you're all set. But if you got children under the age of 12, yeah, this is not for them. But if you're one of those progressive parents that lets their kids watch anything, then sure, give it a shot. No problem. Now, that's Alien Romulus. Dug it. The next movie I want to talk about is a film called Sound of Hope. The story of Possum Trot. Now, if none of you know what I'm talking about, that's okay. Because nobody knows about this film. This film was released by Angel Studios. Angel Studios is a notable, reputable, up-and-coming, faith-based production company. And you would think when I say faith-based that all they do is make films that are faith-based. Not necessarily. Maybe they make those films, but then they also buy films that are accepted by their production company as pretty much saying, you guys fit the standards of the type of film that we want to be showing. And this movie fits the bill. However, even though the movie is a soft PG-13, it's not exactly a family-friendly film, and I'm going to tell you why. Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot, is the story of a town in East Texas or Western Texas or whatever. It's a small town in Texas that ended up adopting 77 children. So this whole town went out of their way and decided to take in children that the system was holding on to and nobody wanted. These were problem children. These were children that came from violent homes, from drug-riddled homes. Some of these kids were beaten, abused, raped, and pimped out by their parents, and nobody wanted them. There was no home for these children. So this town took it upon themselves, bit by bit, to take in these children and bring them into their family and give them a home, give them love, and that's it. It all started with a woman who is, they call her the First Lady. I don't know what that's about, but the story revolves around this couple. One gentleman is the pastor of a church, and his wife. His wife is referred to as the First Lady. I guess that's something that certain churches do, where if they have a pastor and the pastor is married to a woman, the woman is the First Lady of the church. Okay, cool. Kind of made me laugh a little bit, but whatever, that's fine. It's like, First Lady, you ain't the president. But anyway, forget about that. Forget about my opinion on that, and please forgive me for my judgment. But the movie is really good. I really did enjoy it. Not in a, wow, this is great, look at all these kids struggling to find homes, No, it's just a wonderful story of spreading love and using that love to take a chance. Especially when a lot of people did not have room, did not have money. Somehow they made it work. And yes, it does have faith in it. They do a lot of praying, and they talk about God all the time. They talk about Jesus all the time, and that's a beautiful thing. I'm not knocking that at all. And the town is basically talking about how their faith gave them the strength, gave them the guidance to do basically the impossible. This is something that no one would have ever thought to do. But one woman, the first lady of the church, according to the film, she became inspired to take in another child. In the film, her mother passes away, and her mother was a mother of like 15, 18 kids. I don't remember exactly the number. But the first lady of the church, I believe they only had 2 children, and she felt very depressed after her mother died, and she was looking for purpose. And she thought she found purpose in adopting children, fostering children, because she felt like she had so much love inside to give, and she wanted to give that to another human being. And when she did her research into the foster system, especially within the surrounding towns of Possum Trot, she realized that there were so many children that were unwanted, unloved, and without homes. And she said to herself she had to take it upon herself and adopt children, adopt a child, give them a home, show them love, and give them a new life, you know? And the town, her husband at first is extremely reluctant because he's being realistic when it comes to the financial aspect of having another children, and the moral, physical, psychological, toll that this takes on a family when you have children. Listen, let's be real. Anybody that has children knows that it's difficult. You love them to death, you love them with all your heart, but it is a hard thing to do, to raise a family, to take care of another life, to be responsible for multiple lives, to balance finances with moral teachings and psychological teachings and love and then teachings of the world and school, and it's hard to raise a family. I'm seeing that myself. So when I see a family go out of their way to take in more children that are not theirs, that are fully grown, and that come from problem backgrounds, I gotta have nothing but respect for those people, because that's not easy. It's hard, it's scary. And little by little, this woman inspires her husband, and then this couple end up inspiring the town, and the town takes it upon themselves, piece by piece, to begin adopting children of their own. And in the course of a year or so, or multiple years, this town adopts 77 children. They adopted so many children that, according to the film, there were no children left in their area that needed homes. There were no children within 100 miles in each direction of this town that needed a home. They did it. They saved these kids. They gave them a home. They gave them a life. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful idea. And you see the particular family in this film go through a lot of hard times taking in this one child with a very troubled past. And how do you deal with that? How do you push through? How do you show love when you're so frustrated you can't even think? How do you continue to show love when you almost want to give up? I think it's a question that a lot of parents ask themselves all the time, even with their own children. So it's a really, really interesting film to watch. It definitely brings about another issue that maybe a lot of people don't know about, or maybe a lot of people do, but they feel they can't do anything about. So I don't think this film is going to start a worldwide movement where people just start adopting children, but I do believe that maybe this film will inspire a few people to open their homes to those that don't have them. And it's a great message, it's a great idea, so I dig it. So yeah, so there's that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the HBO Max series, The Penguin. I just finished watching it yesterday, and I gotta say, I'm gonna say good things first. I don't have any real bad things to say about it. It's just about the character, and I'll explain what I'm talking about. The show is great, in my opinion. Great storytelling throughout. Colin Farrell completely disappears in the role. I don't recognize him. I don't see him. I don't hear him. It's just this guy. I forgot that he was even the actor playing him. Now, I remember when I saw his portrayal of the Penguin in The Batman, and I thought the way he played the Penguin in the movie, I felt nothing for his character. I felt, why didn't they just get an actual overweight dude that's got the New York, Brooklyn, Italian accent, and just do that? Just do a caricature of The Sopranos or Goodfellas, because that's what Colin Farrell did in the movie. He was just one giant caricature of an Italian gangster. That's all it was. There was nothing special about that. Was just my opinion. I got nothing out of his character. It was just like, wow. No, but I was impressed by the makeup effects, and I was not blown away by his acting at all. It was over the top. It was very cartoony for me. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I saw the show, and the tone is slightly different. Slightly different in that he's not dealing with the Batman at all throughout this entire 8-episode television show. So he's a little calmer, and then he does get into, moments of excitement, but not one moment ever feels like a caricature this time. This time he feels fleshed out. He feels like a real person, like a person that exists. And it's very pitiful. He's a very sad individual, because he is, from birth, I think, to the moment he becomes the Penguin, or the Kingpin of Gotham, this big giant gangster, he's 100% got a chip on his shoulder the size of the Statue of Liberty. He's got some serious insecurity issues, and he really, really feels the need to prove himself everywhere he goes. And not only that, this man does nothing but lie every single chance he gets, just to get ahead, or to move himself ahead, or to get himself out of hot water. He lies with such ease, calmness, ferocity, convincingly, disgustingly throughout the entire show. And man, like, it's awful to watch, But I will say this: Colin Farrell, in this role, in this show, in this series, he is phenomenal. And the young lady that plays, Falcone's daughter, I forget the actress's name, and I do apologize, but she played the mother in How I Met Your Mother in the very last season. She's great in the show, by the way. She's really good in everything else I've seen her in. But she is flawless in this show, too. And in a lot of ways, she sort of takes the cake. She steals the show from the Penguin. But Colin Farrell, he's so good in the role. Like, I really got to give him props now. Now I give him props for the role. Now I'm thinking, yeah, nobody could have played this character like this. They could have tried, but it would have come off as a caricature. And Colin Farrell now finally had the time to really flesh out the character and make him feel real. Yeah, it's a really interesting show. It's just a coming of age gangster story, basically. And it's sad because this guy's, if you really want to dive deep into the Penguin's psyche, he should never be a gangster. He should never be in charge of anything. This guy is a dog. It's a dog that's trying so hard to be human, and somehow he becomes a human by the end, But it's a crazy show. I really did dig it a lot, And the last thing I want to talk about before I go inside, because I'm hitting 19 minutes, Cobra Kai. I just saw the last season. I just saw the latest installment of the final season of Cobra Kai, because Cobra Kai is being broken up into 3 parts. And they've just released the first 2 parts. I saw the first part, Really wasn't that impressed. Saw the second part. I really enjoyed it a lot. And I'm really curious to see where they go with this third part. But the truth is, so far, this season has not been as high stakes or insane, as the previous season. That's when things got real crazy. And people are slashing each other with swords and stuff. Like, that got crazy. But I'm not going to give away the ending. But by the last episode of the second part of Cobra Kai, yes, the stakes do get raised to a level that none of the seasons have reached yet. And for this show to do that this time around, I felt it was equal parts bold and also safe, because they did it with a character that wasn't exactly likable or around for previous seasons. So for this to happen to this character, it's not so bad, but it's also still like, whoa, I can't believe they just did that. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go inside. I love you guys. Talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hope you guys have a lot of food and love and laughter. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Bye.